Welcome to the Daily for Thursday, February 21st with Andrew Wiebe. I'm Jason Segini, and the big news coming out of yesterday for U.S. soccer fans, Landon Donovan takes the mic at USC in front of a journalism class and basically comes out and says, I will return to the U.S. national team at some point.
Well, he said if the opportunity presents itself, and you have to remember, Jurgen Klinsmann hasn't made that promise, but that's good news for U.S. men's national team fans. Landon Donovan, obviously a legend in his own right, a player that I think everyone would agree can help in this qualification process. He also said one other interesting thing. He said, after I leave this class today, I'm going to Cambodia for 10 days. So certainly Landon Donovan taking that opportunity to clear his head before he returns to the Galaxy in late March.
I'm sure his teammates will appreciate that he will be on a beach in Cambodia while they finish up their preseason. There's supposedly video of that entire presentation by Landon Donovan at USC that will be posted later today, so we will find that and, of course, have a link to it on the site later on. Check that out on MLSsoccer.com. There was a ton of preseason action on Wednesday night. We're going to touch on a couple of the results, but it's preseason. Results don't necessarily matter. There are stories here as well. In Charleston, Houston Dynamo get a 2-1 victory over the Vancouver Whitecaps. Chicago Fire 2-1 victors over the Charleston Battery. The story I want to touch on here, though, is we might now have some confirmation that Nigel Reo-Coker will be signing with the Vancouver Whitecaps.
Yeah, he told Sky Sports News that he is going to Vancouver to sign a 4-year deal with that club. So he had offers in England and in Russia, but he really likes the adventure this presents. For the Whitecaps, you really have to like what they're doing. That midfield all of a sudden has become very, very crowded with talent, with Alan Rashaw, Gershon Coffey, Daigo Kobayashi, who scored a brilliant goal in that first game of the Carolina Challenge Cup, as well as June Marcus Davidson. So Nigel Reo-Coker comes in a situation where he's going to have to compete for playing time.
And a lot of good young talent on there when you look at Eric Hurtado, Kakuta Mana, of course, Darren Maddox. So moving on, Arizona, some results from Arizona. Real Salt Lake come back very late to get a 3-2 victory over the New England Revolution. The Revs have to be disappointed to give up 2 late goals, but again, it's preseason. The other story I want to talk about is Mario Martinez does it again, a 2-0 victory over the New York Red Bulls. He scores another great goal. Seattle has to get him on the field this season, right?
Yeah, they may have the best pair of young wingers in this league, and Mario Martinez and Steve Zakuani. Zakuani, of course, on that comeback trail, trying to become the player he was before that vicious leg break. But Mario Martinez, what a goal. That left foot is absolutely pure. Took a volley out of the air, put it right in that bottom left-hand corner. A little bit reminiscent of what he did against Real Salt Lake last year in the playoffs, just in skill. But I agree, you've got to find a way if you're Sigismund to get this guy on the field. And Martinez made it clear last year, he does not consider the bench a place where he belongs.
All right, moving on to Portland. Not a lot of goals to talk about here. 1-0 victory for FC Dallas. They do have to be happy, though, to see Blas Perez getting that goal and getting on the board for the preseason. Also, San Jose and AIK Sweden 0-0. Not much going on in Portland. 2 other results that I'm going to mention. 3-3 result for Toronto and Sporting Kansas City. Ashton Bennett getting a couple goals, the rookie for Toronto. And the other result, Philadelphia 1-1 draw against DC United. Chandler Hoffman getting on the board for Philadelphia. But again, the story coming out of here, Carlos Ruiz picked up yesterday by DC United. The fish is back, Andrew.
Yeah, he is back, and pretty much everybody passed on Ruiz in the allocation process until they got to DC United. They are in need of a center forward, though. That much is clear. Leonard Pajoy is a very good hold-up player. He showed his ability in the playoffs to keep the ball and distribute to his teammates. Will he score the goals? That's the question. Ruiz in MLS has shown a track record of being able to do that. Now, he hasn't played professionally in a while, but you have to think, given some time, he can get back to at least the point where he can contribute to DC. Now, is he going to be a headache? That's the big question.
I mean, I like the pickup for DC. You have Pajoy, you have the youngster Rafael, you bring in the veteran Ruiz. One of them is going to score some goals for you. The U.S. U-20 men's national team got a great result last night, and they didn't even have to take the field. Costa Rica gets a 1-0 victory over Haiti. That means the U.S. is into the quarterfinals. They'll play Costa Rica on Friday, though, to determine who is the 1 seed, who is the 2 seed, and their opponent will also be decided on Friday.
Yeah, Canada needs a draw to move on in Group B. Should they draw and move on, they'll be the 2 seed in that group. If the U.S. loses to Costa Rica, they'll take on Cuba. That's a tough result. If they win, it'll be either Nicaragua or Canada. If you're Tab Ramos, you really have to be hoping you get those 3 points. Get a little bit easier matchup in the quarterfinal stage.
All right, stay tuned to MLSsoccer.com to follow all of these stories. And also, team previews are rolling out on the site. They continue today, Andrew. Who should fans expect to see?
We got Montreal and Dallas coming up. Montreal, of course, this is year 2 of that Italian experiment. And also, we'll dive in and see what Marco Schellebaum can do to grease those skids up there in Quebec. And then Dallas, obviously, so many forwards this year. How will they use them? Kenny Cooper, Blaise Perez, and Eric Hasley. Who will be the guys that start?
Curious to know what you guys think of how your team has done this offseason and into the preseason. Let us know in the comments section below how you feel about your team headed into the regular season, which of course starts next week. And if you haven't been there already to set up your fantasy team, go to fantasy.mlssoccer.com. Set up your fantasy team. You can compete against us. Not that we're any good, but compete against us. We'll be back tomorrow. Plenty more on the daily.